So dear students, today we are going to discuss the next topic in Environmental Impact Assessment Module 4. So today's topic is ozone layer depletion. So we all are very familiar with this word ozone layer depletion. So what is ozone layer depletion? So as you see, we know that the ozone layer actually refers to a region of the Earth's stratosphere. So we know that the atmosphere is divided into various layers, the troposphere, the stratosphere, etc. So the ozone layer actually refers to a region of the Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation, and also it contains very high concentration of ozone compared or relative to other parts of the atmosphere. So it is mainly found in the lower portion of the stratosphere, as you see here in the figure. It is the lower portion of the stratosphere, a layer which is found in the lower portion of the stratosphere. And this layer was actually discovered in 1913 by a French physicist, Charles Fabry and Henry Buisson. So we'll be discussing what is ozone layer depletion in today's class. So what do you mean by ozone layer depletion? So ozone layer depletion is actually a gradual thinning of this layer of ozone in the upper atmosphere, which is caused mainly due to the release of compounds that contains gaseous bromine or chlorine, and these chemicals are usually released from various industrial activities and other human activities. So it is nothing but a thinning of the ozone layer that is present in the atmosphere. So this layer of ozone, it gradually thins due to the release of various chemical compounds due to industries and or other human activities. In fact, it is said that this is very harmful, because if the ozone layer is not present, what happens? Ultraviolet radiation will affect the life on the earth, and some compounds releases chlorine and bromine on exposure to high ultraviolet light, and which again contributes to the depletion of the ozone layer. And such compounds, we call them as the ozone depleting substances, or the ODS. So the ozone depleting substances that contain chlorine includes chlorofluorocarbons. You would have heard the term CFCs, and carbon tetrachloride, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, methyl chloroform, etc. And chlorofluorocarbons are the most abundant ozone depleting substance, and it is only when the chlorine atom reacts with some other molecule, it does not react with ozone. So here you can see ozone is a form of oxygen which contains 3 oxygen atoms. And one more thing is that ozone is very highly corrosive, and it is also toxic, and that's why it is also used as a disinfectant, and it can be found in very small concentrations in the troposphere, where it is considered as a pollutant. So when it comes to the troposphere, ozone is usually considered as a pollutant, and ozone at ground level is again a pollutant. And ozone layer at the stratosphere is what serves as an important function to stop the ultraviolet rays from hitting the Earth's surface. So again, this is just a depiction of what exactly is a ozone layer. Like I told you, it refers to a layer or a region of the Earth's atmosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation, and it also contains high concentrations of ozone compared to any other part of the atmosphere. And now coming to the various causes of ozone layer depletion. So ozone layer depletion is actually a major concern, and it is associated with a number of factors. And the main causes responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer, we can say the chlorofluorocarbons. So chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, are the main cause of the ozone layer depletion. And like I told you, these are released by the solvents, spray aerosols, refrigerators, air conditioners, etc. And the molecules of chlorofluorocarbons in the stratosphere are broken down by the ultraviolet radiations and releases the chlorine atoms. So these atoms will again react with the ozone and thus destroy it. Then again, unregulated rocket launches. So actually the researchers say that the unregulated launching of rockets also will result in much more depletion of the ozone layer than the chlorofluorocarbons. than what the chlorofluorocarbons or the CFCs do. So if this is not controlled, it might result in a huge loss of the ozone layer, say by the year 2050. So that is what the researchers have identified. Now coming to the nitrogen compounds. So nitrogen compounds like nitrogen dioxide, uh, nitrogen oxide, etc. are also highly responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. And there are some natural causes like the ozone layer has been found to be depleted by certain processes such as the sunspots and the stratospheric winds. And but it does not cause say around 1 to 2 percentage of the ozone layer depletion only is caused. It is not a very serious cause. And the volcanic eruptions also are also responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. So this just shows, this figure just depicts a few, or it just illustrates the ozone layer depletion process. So you can see here the release from the various industries, CFCs, etc. Will cause the, or will lead to the ozone layer depletion. So now coming to what is ozone hole. So ozone hole is actually, it's not a literal meaning. We can't say it is a not technically a hole, or literally it's not a hole, but it is where no ozone is present, but it is actually a region of the depleted ozone zone in the stratosphere, and it's actually over the Antarctic, and it happens at the beginning of the southern hemisphere, especially during the spring season, that is between August and October. And the average concentration of the ozone in the atmosphere is about 300 Dobson units, and any area where the concentration drops below 220 Dobson units, it is considered as part of a ozone hole. So it's actually, the concentration is represented in a unit which we call as a Dobson unit. So this figure just shows how ozone hole appears. Again, the ozone hole was discovered in the 1985, in the year 1985, by British scientists Joseph Farman, Brian Gardner, and Jonathan Shanklin of the British Antarctic Survey. And now it is seen that the ozone hole has steadily grown in size, say up to 27 million square meters and square kilometers, and the length of existence from August through early December over the past 2 decades. So anyway, ozone hole, this just shows the development of the ozone hole over the years. As you can see here, from the year 1996 to the year 2012, this is what is given in this picture. Now we'll see what are the various effects of ozone layer depletion. So the depletion of the ozone layer has, like I said, has very harmful effect on the environment, and we'll just see what are the major effects of the ozone layer depletion on human life and the environment. So firstly, it affects the human health. So the humans will be directly exposed to the harmful ultraviolet radiations of the sun due to the depletion of the ozone layer, and this might result in serious health issues among humans. It may lead to various health conditions like melanoma or non-melanoma skin cancers. Also, it might result in very serious issues among humans like sunburns, cataract, like I said, cancer. It can lead to quick aging, and also it can weaken the immune system. Now coming to the effect on the animals. So direct exposure to ultraviolet radiations leads to skin and eye cancer, especially in the case of animals, whenever they are directly exposed to the UV rays. Then effects on the environment. Strong ultraviolet rays may lead to minimal growth, flowering, and photosynthesis in plants, and the forests also have to bear the harmful effects of the ultraviolet rays. Again, it also affects marine life. So there are the aquatic food chain will be affected. So planktons, we know, are greatly affected by the exposure to harmful ultraviolet rays. So if the planktons are destroyed, what happens is the organisms present in the lower food chain will also be gradually affected. So here this figure again just shows the effects of ozone layer depletion on the environment. It leads to damage of the crop, urban pollution. Again, when it comes to human beings, it leads to a weakened immune system and skin cancer, acute eye defects and cataract are also other effects of ozone layer depletion. So, what are the alternatives to ozone layer depletion? So the depletion of the ozone layer, actually, like I told, it is a very serious issue, and various programs have been launched by the government of various countries in order to prevent this. So some of the steps or some of the points that helps in preventing this problem at the global level is avoid using pesticides. Firstly, so natural methods should be implemented in order to get rid of the pests and weeds instead of using chemicals as pesticides. So, or also one can use eco-friendly chemicals to remove the pests or to remove the weeds manually, and also to minimize the use of vehicles. So we have to minimize the use of vehicles. That is, we know that the vehicles will emit a large amount of greenhouse gases that eventually leads to the global warming as well as ozone depletion. Therefore, the use of vehicles should be minimized as much as possible. Then, like I said, use of eco-friendly cleaning products. So most of the cleaning products have chlorine and bromine that releases chemicals and which find a way into the atmosphere and affects the ozone layer. So these should be substituted with natural products in order to protect the environment. And use of nitrous oxide should be prohibited. The government should take strict actions and prohibit the use of harmful nitrous oxide that is adversely affecting the ozone layer. And people also should be made aware of the harmful effects of nitrous oxide and the products that emit the gas so that its use is minimized at the individual level as well. Also, make sure that the old refrigerators and air conditioners are disposed of safely by giving them to a recycling yard. And this is what these are the points like how we can find a solution to the ozone layer depletion or how we can make a difference. Now, coming to the International Day for the Preservation of Ozone Layer. So, September 16th was actually designated by the United Nations General Assembly as the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. So, this was actually made on December 1994 in commemoration of the date in 1987 on which nations signed the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer. So unless all this is practiced and all these solutions, there are a lot of solutions to prevent the ozone layer depletion. So unless all this is practiced and the government also takes initiative to control all this, we will not be able to save our earth from the ozone layer depletion problem. So we have to protect the ozone layer and save the life on earth. So this is about ozone layer depletion. Thank you.